Yeah. What up? Oh, you know what? Let me stop that because I don't want to get flagged. I'm not that important. I'm not important enough to play music. But you heard what I was listening to, and if you didn't, we're gonna talk about it anyway. So I hope you're prepared to do that. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's Saturday. It's Saturday like evening. It's not quite Saturday night, and I know the Eastern Conference Finals Game 6 is on, but I want to talk some music. I want to get the content out to y'all. All of y'all not Knicks fans, no way. All of y'all not Pacer fans, no way. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You can listen to this. The real game, it either starts at the first quarter or start of the third. In the course of the fourth quarter, I'll probably be done by that time anyway. Oh, but man, first made in the 1980s. Made in the 1980s. You see it right there. Sporadically, unfortunately. Talk soon. The new episode is out. It explains why. So I hope you check that out. And when you check that out, I hope that you enjoy, and just understand that I'll be here soon. I'll be back soon to give you the most consistent possible content I can. But right now, man, we gotta get money. We gotta get money, and we gotta get money in a real way. So it's just me taking some time out to get the foundation even more straight, so I can have more free time to do this because I love to do this. I don't really do this for money. I wouldn't do this. Well, I will do it for money. Let me not say that. I will do it for money, but getting money is not a thing, and you should never let too many of your actual passions and your just fun things that you like to do. Money shouldn't always be getting in the way of that. If you can monetize, awesome, but don't make everything in your life all about money. Is basically what I'm trying to tell y'all with that. Let's talk music though. I've been meaning to give y'all this review for what, 2 weeks now? Excuse me. I've been meaning to give y'all this review for 2 weeks, man. Step Brothers for life. For life. Starlito and Don Trip. And I'm sorry it's not on a Tuesday, but the content is exactly the same. And hey, look, if you missed it on this Saturday evening, hey, check it out on Tuesday. That's fine with me. I don't care. It's all good. How should I start this? Let's start here. The 2010s. The 2010s were a very underrated time for rap music. Now that we look back, if you really look back at some of the moments that were created, all the artists that were created from just the blog era resurgence, we've seen a lot of international artists, especially in the world of hip hop, but just all over the world, rap music was. Hey, I mean, look, it was bigger than it ever been. Bigger than it's ever been. More markets got their superstars, and we were also beat over the head with a lot of tandems and a lot of duos that were supposed to be so great. We were bombarded with, these two, when they get together and do the studio thing, and when these two drop an album, man, it's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be legendary. This is gonna be epic. This is gonna be a classic. And Jones here. Look at Jones. I'm 4 minutes in. Look at Jones with the questions. We're gonna get to that. We can get to that. We were bombarded with so many different just high hopes, I'll say. There were too many tandems to remember, but I'm gonna go over some of them here. Matter of fact, hey, look, let's go with the most famous one, the most famous tandem, the one that kind of kicked it off for everybody because their album dropped in 2011. That was Jay-Z and Kanye West, or Jay and Ye, Watch the Throne. That was immediately the bar. I really tried to fight the fact that Watch the Throne was a classic. But I'll say this because I'm a cultural impact guy. I'm a cultural impact guy, and I am a guy that is always about what happens after your album drop, even more so than what is on your actual album. And because of the influx of tandems, and it does start with these two, and with everything we were expected to get after they drop Watch the Throne, dare I say, especially what now 14 years later, Watch the Throne can be a classic. Y'all can have that one. That's cool. Because if we don't get Jay and Ye, do we really care? Or is there really hype around Quavo and Travis Scott? Is there how do we view Dolph and Key Glock? How do we view Party Next Door and Drake without that? Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel, Fat Joe and Remy Ma. Relax. Those are some of the quote big tandems of last year. Some of the guys that were supposed to. I can't forget Drake and Future. Drake and Future. That was supposed to be a really big deal. That was supposed to be one of the flag bearers of just tandems, duos of the 2010s. But let's keep it real, especially when we get into all the tandems. There were way more misses than hits. Way more misses than hits when those tandems got together. Shoot, Travis Scott and Quavo did their thing, but that 21 and Offset project was better than theirs. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't know why I thought that was 2012, Jones. I don't know why I thought that was 2012. Hey, no, you got me. But I'm still gonna lean on Watch the Throne 2011 because popularity wins. And we're going to talk about that as well on this, right? Popularity wins. Because look, I mean, unofficial tandems of last decade. One of my personal favorites, Dom Kennedy and Nipsey Hussle. I love both of them individually as well as together. And every time they collab, they never did a project or anything, but whenever they were featured on each other's albums, those are always the songs that I ran to, or I probably even gave more grace than a couple of them should have gotten. A very underrated one as we're getting into the latter part of the 2010s, Moneybagg Yo and Lil Baby. We can't forget that run of the two new freshmen, Megan Thee Stallion and DaBaby. They were packaged together. I thought they were a tandem and a couple. And they were not going to do songs without each other for a minute there. Wiz Khalifa and Currency. Skyzoo and Torre, the Barrel Brothers. Styles P and Dave East, who I think dropped one of the better tandem albums from a tandem that we didn't even ask for. But their project was actually fire. They're actually fire. Let's do this question up from Jones real quick. 2010s, a second golden age, better than the 2000s, perhaps. I'm not mad at this take. However, I know the quality versus quantity game is going to come into play here. Because two things. See, this is challenging you and many others out here to choose your hard, pick your battle. What was worse for hip hop, right? Snap music or I'll call it the Trinidad James, which is, hey, I just started rapping, but I got a hit record. You have to pick one. What do you think was worse? Do you think D Pharrell and them Franchise Boys and all of that music, snap music and ringtone rap, do you think that was worse than the Trinidad James All Go Everything, than the Bobby Shmurda Hot Nigga, than the Young M.A. Ooh to the Lil Yachty One Night? Like, what do you think is worse? What do you think is worse? Because that matters. Because the freshman list and the blog era, it literally did give us some of the biggest stars of the decade. And On the flip side, you got Dipset, G Unit, the Rockefeller Run. That's really the Rockefeller Run. Um, Jay-Z kind of separates himself from the pack in the 2000s. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know if we had to sit through a lot of rappers getting better. A lot of rappers weren't that great in 2010, but they were pretty decent by 2016. So you had to go through a lot of bad raps in an effort to get to some of the heat. A lot of people got bound production too last decade. Just keeping it real. Excuse me. So that's a great question. We're gonna have to come back to this. We have to come back to this. Out of all those tandems, though, I do want to talk about one in particular because their album has just released, like recently. If it's within 60 days, it's recently. I don't want y'all to get into that. Oh, if it didn't come out Friday, it ain't new, because music moves so fast that now you just got to be like, look, in the last 60 days, has something dropped? Do you mess with it? Go listen to it. Just don't stop not wanting to listen to albums because they came out like in April, or like if they came out in the first week of May and we're in the last day of May. Don't do that. Go back and get the heat. If you missed it in real time, it's cool. They still need your support. That's how they book the shows. That's how they come to your city. That's how they keep the lights on and keep giving you the content that you say that you want from them. So today I want to talk about the tandem that could literally be better than every single one of the tandems I've mentioned already. And that's Don Tripp and Starlito, aka the Step Brothers. Now, I know the fact that I'm saying that, hey, maybe these two are the best tandem out of everybody. And I'm including Watch the Throne on that. I'm not trying to, this is not clickbait. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to be contrarian. And I'm going to tell you why as we get into this album. But you know what? Let me get to my notes first, because this is their fourth project together. Obviously, Don Tripp has his own career. Starlito has his own career. This is East Nashville and East Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And one of the cool things about living in Nashville is learning about the history of the artists in Nashville. Everybody does the Mount Rushmore talk, right? And I do love the fact that on every Nashville rap route Mount Rushmore I've seen, there have been two faces on every single one of them. And they were surprisingly Jelly Roll and Starlito. Now, I only say surprisingly for Jelly Roll because people are trying to erase the fact that he raps. So salute to Jelly Roll for always being like, no, I used to get busy. He was like, and I still out rap a lot of y'all. Like you had to catch him like it just in the city or just out and about. Like Jelly Roll is clear. He's crystal clear. Like, no, I still get busy with the rhymes. I'll still bar y'all up if you want that. And I was like, yo, that's respect. I love it. I love it. I feel a way personally that Young Buck that was not on every single one of them, and he was replaced a couple of times by people I've just never heard of before. And I'm not gonna act like I've been consistent every day, but I tried to, Google or maybe just DSP search these cats, and I didn't really see nothing. So maybe I'm not hip. I need somebody like Doe or Mr. Adams to tell me like, yo, am I off for thinking that Starlito, Jelly Roll, and Young Buck should be on everybody's Mount Rushmore as far as Nashville rap goes? There's got to be something. There's got to be something to be said for the guy that's like mainstream, the first guy from your city to sell 2 or 3 million albums. I don't understand why we're leaving him off list. I don't care what his lifestyle choices is. I don't care if you don't like G Unit. You got to explain to me why Young Buck is not on everybody's Mount Rushmore as far as Nashville rap. Because I'm not hip. I'm not from here. I'm from Freeport, Illinois. I've been here. It'll be 5 years in August. Y'all got to hit me to the game. But I do think Tripp and Star could be the best tandem out of every tandem that we've seen over the past 15 years, because that would date us back to 2010 exactly, right? The fourth project, Step Brothers, is Step Brothers for Life, I'm sorry, is not only quite possibly their best work together, but it may end up being one of the best albums of this year when we get down to the last week of December. Hey, look, let's be clear. It's almost June. It's June tomorrow. So that means we are 6 months in. I don't know 5 rap albums better than this one for 2025. It's not biased because I wasn't even a fan in real time like that. I got Wiz as having the best album of the year, rap wise. I think Cushion Orange Juice 2 is better, is the best album of this year, rap wise for me. Let me see. What do we I don't want to get in the rabbit hole of going through all of the rap albums of this year because I still got to listen to Glockavelli to Don. We're going to get to that though. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Benny's dropped a couple times this year. Currency has dropped, of course. Of course, Currency has dropped. Ray Vaughn, he has a dope album that's out. Mozzie has an album, G Perico. He has a Gangsta Grill out, matter of fact. West Side Gun. Jones, I'm glad you said Run the Jewels. I'm glad you said Run the Jewels. Because I'm gonna say something very uncomfortable and we're gonna move on. Okay. But hey, on the part 2 of the live, maybe we could pick this conversation back up. But Run the Jewels, it's not that they were not dope. But man, for that hype, that was some amazing hype beast, bro. That's some amazing hype beast work for songs that we do not even think about in this era. We're in a whole new decade. This is 2020 to 2025, and nobody's talking about Run the Jewels. And I say that respectfully because their albums are not bad. Their albums are actually very dope. But for everybody to be talking about, oh, they got 4 classics or 3 classics, however many it was, and this, that, and the third. Killer Mike has dropped Michael, and we're not asking about none of that. We're not asking about none of that. And I think that matters. Because even though Kanye put out My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne, and then, Big Sean's album is out, and Jay drops Magna Carta Holy Grail and 444, and I mean, y'all don't like it, but like Jesus and Life of Pablo, like Kanye took over in a whole new way last decade, even with albums that y'all consider mid. And he started taking over shoes and clothes, and songs were probably being hype beasted. But you know what? We know they beefing right now. We know Jay and Ye are beefing right now, and y'all still want to hear Watch the Throne too. You still want to hear it. So, pardon me for feeling like Run the Jewels was a moment, and it was a dope moment, but it was a little overrated. Just a tad overrated. And again, that don't mean the music was trash, because it wasn't. It was some dope music. But they literally got lost in the shuffle, and Killer Mike started dropping solo albums and winning Grammys, and y'all not asking for RTJ5. You're not. Unless it's 4, because you ain't asking for 4 either if it's 4. I didn't Google. Sorry. So I got Step Brothers for Life being one of the front runners for album of the year this year as far as rap music goes. And just to speak on tandems, well, you know what? No, let's talk about the album a little bit. Because one, this comes on super fire. Madden Curse is super fire. I love when tandems go back and forth. It don't matter if it's still EPMD to this day. It don't matter if it's Kissing Styles. It don't matter if it's Ray and Ghost. It could be AZ and Nas. It doesn't matter. Hey, look, hey, Hov and Ye, Otis back and forth. Like anytime you get two guys on a beat that they like to go back and forth, it's usually a win-win, and that's how they kick this off. This is one of my favorite joints on the project, and it's track number 1. I also love Mitchell and Ness. Mitchell and Ness is super crazy on here. Michelangelo and Bugs, a Tubi movie, great joint on here as well. Butterfly Effect. I love Butterfly Effect because obviously these two are pretty dope storytellers, right? And they do a great job of painting the vulnerable picture in their music. And I like how they are detailing certain situations in their life where, hey, I could have changed some things, but dang, what comes with changing this? Because that is the Butterfly Effect. If you ever seen the movie, like that's dope. And I love their creative take on the concept of the Butterfly Effect, incorporated into their own lives in actual song. Origins is probably my favorite song on this album because for people like me that got onto them late. Matter of fact, let me give respect to my guy Jones too, by the way. Because I came into this being a Don Tripp fan. Don Tripp was one of my favorite freshman list artists, period. I thought he was going to be a really big star. I don't know what it was. And this was before I heard Letter to My Son with CeeLo. But I just heard his rhyming and just the character. And I don't want to make it seem like not caricature, but the character in his rhyming and the charisma in his rhyming. I'm like, dude, is super dope. Like, I think he's nice. And then to be from Memphis, I was like, oh wow. I was like, I've never heard this sound out of Memphis before. This could be something very special. Had no idea who he was signed to, who his production was. I just knew that dude was dope. And I wanted to hear more from him. Now, with that said, also, I heard of Starlito, but never really listened to him. But the one person that I will always give credit for being on Starlito for me, day one, will always be my man Jones. My man Mike Jones was talking to me about Starlito like just randomly on Facebook posts before we even met in real life and became actual friends. So I will always credit him for like, oh, you put me on Starlito. And he told me about the Step Brother joint, and I was like, I just rather hear Don Tripp. I don't look, I keep it super real here. I fronted, okay? So I heard the first one real late. I'm like, look, I was like, I don't know about all that Step Brother stuff you're talking about, but this Randy Savage mixtape is hard. And I'm gonna listen to that. And I think it was like Gorilla, I think it was. But Don Tripp was one of the few people that had me on that piff every week, just in case he had dropped something else and I didn't want to miss it. But I will always give credit to Jones for putting me on the Starlito. And then it did help that he was doing songs with another rapper that I actually respected and really liked. And you know what? I was like, man, these two aren't bad together. I obviously just lean more towards liking Don Tripp more, but I think they are both equally dope. So I pick up like Step Brothers 2 or 3, I want to say. And then and I had to go back and listen. But I'm not mad at anybody that's been listening from day one that thinks this is the best one. Or I think, too, the one where they actually take the hold up. I forgot what the cover is. Hold on, man. We gotta do this, man. We gotta do this real quick. Because one of the covers was so fire, and I think it made the music even more fire to me. Hold on, man. I gotta do this real quick. We're gonna look for those. Matter of fact, I don't want to waste too much of y'all time. But oh yeah, no, it was Step Brothers 3 when they actually they remake the artwork for the movie, the actual movie. Yes, it was 3. But um what I want to say though is this album I think is right on time. I think a lot of just trips content in general is always right on time because oftentimes when we want to hear about black struggle and black street music and whatever what have you, right? It's always the same, yo, it's gang gang, I sell drugs, I did time, I'm just trying to make it, right? What I love about these two, especially when they get onto these projects together, excuse me if I can talk right, especially when they get on these kind of projects together, is that they really take some time to deal with real life. You know, these brothers be rapping about depression, their children, their relationship with the women in their lives, why they get money, not just the aspect of getting money. And of course, they also they incorporate bars, metaphors, similes, analogies, and that's always important. I think with what gets popularized in music, especially over the last 15 years, I love when I just hear broader subject matter from any rapper, especially ones that are willing to be vulnerable enough to be like, yo, you know what? There was a time when I wasn't the man, but I wasn't just the man because women wouldn't giving me no cooter. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the man because I was broke. I was effed up. Like I was looking for a shot. I was looking for an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And man, I think they captured that well. Shout out to my man Wang Dang who just chopped in. Hey, look, listen, they making me even more proud to be a father. So let's talk about the cover because this cover is powerful in itself, right? Both of these brothers, with all their kids, with basically their entire family, is on one picture, and it's the album cover. You can't get any greater than that. And I know Offset did it with Father of Four. That was the name of his album when he put that out. And I'm not trying to disrespect that, but a lot of the content on that album didn't really hit the way the content on this album does. And that's not to say that that makes, you know, Offset's effort better or worse, but there was a lot of power being shown in just this cover alone. And then you get into some of the stuff that they're actually talking about on the album, some of the content that's on this album, man. It's just refreshing. You know, again, like director's cut, alternate ending, a Robin Hood, very much in the line of just what it means, like what that cover really means in a lot of different ways, you know. And I think it's still lost. I want to say still lost in Bud I think. I I look at all of these songs and it's just like, damn, they're really taking their time to give us more than one message. Even going back to origin story, I even love how they're telling the story about how they met because one, Yo Gotti needs all the good press that he can get, and we know why. And that's not me trying to start anything, but man, you know, with just even everything that Dolph had to say about him living as far as like uniting Memphis and wanting to be the king of Memphis and everything like music wise, it is good to say that, man, wow, you know what? Yo Gotti put these two brothers together. Tennessee looking out for Tennessee, looking out for Tennessee. And how like they really went with it. And I love the bravado, I love the ego, I love the machismo that comes with this because that is part of being a rapper. I know people don't like to hear that, but rap is so ego driven that I think the more that you kill your ego, that the harder it becomes to rap. Just my personal opinion. That is why I do understand what Andre 3000 be saying, and I don't really trip on him dropping the rap album. I just trip on his fans who keep saying he's number one and he will not drop the rap album. That's it. But it takes a lot of ego to be a rapper. And I love how they tell the story about how their egos almost get into the way of this Step Brothers franchise even happening. But also, man, the only thing that's worse than ego is hate. And when you're a hater, you'll never win. So I love the fact that even though they had ego, it was great to see that they were like, no, but dude is dope. No, dude fire. I mess with what they doing. And they come together on just almost some real human moments, right? They meet, they admire each other's work ethic. Fried chicken, bring them together. Princess, shout to Princess. Princess is great too, by the way. If you're in Nashville, you're either a Princess or a Hattie B's person. It's super funny. Why we could talk about that on a different line, but and just just the simple things like Star making sure that Trip got paid for his verse, give him his first payment for a verse, and how they just went against everybody's advice to put this together, and now we got what we got. Now we're four projects in. That's awesome. It's awesome to know that exists. And that's a great hip hop story that needs to be told. I'm tired of hearing the story of like, well, I mean, shoot, dude, the hottest out. I think I'm the hottest out. So we just decided to do a track. And next thing you know what I'm saying? It was like 6, 7 tracks, 12 tracks that was just ready to go. And this is like, oh, okay, y'all not really friends. We're doing the heat check here, right? Okay, cool. Good. Or, yeah, we both hitting the same Instagram model, or, he about getting money, or he really from the streets. And it's just like, okay, I get it. But what does that got to do with music? Like, but what does that have to do with you putting out music that we gonna mess with? Let me know that piece. So I love that for them. And I enjoy this album because of that. Y'all already know I'm a big wrestling fan. Royal Rumble, one of my favorite songs on here. Them doing not even necessarily like flips, but just like different drum patterns over just classic WWE themes and WCW themes too, by the way. But just classic wrestling themes. Great work. Anytime that rappers do something with wrestling, I'm kind of already in. You know what I'm saying? You can't really mess it up unless you don't know anything about wrestling. so for me, I love the fact that they switched up so many and they did like 30 beats. It's a Royal Rumble, the 30-man Royal Rumble, man. That's how it's supposed to be. The concept within the concept living, I love it, and the way the beat switches, and like when the music hits, if you're a real wrestling fan, you mark out for all of these beats that they select. Like, I don't even like Goldberg like that, but man, when they had the drums over the Goldberg and they rapping over that, I was like, best Undertaker flip since that one Meek messed up trying to diss Drake. You know what I'm saying? So that was fire. Hey, listen, man. Hey, on this album, we got 16 tracks, 51 minutes, 34 seconds. I think 7 of the songs on here are undeniable. And that's just undeniable. Like, if you don't like these, you're probably just like a hater. And that's being, I think, generous. Because if 7 of these are undeniable as actual heat, I would say there's a definite 10 to 12 of these songs that are just great. They're just really good. They may not be for me, They may not really be for me. Like I wasn't super in love with them, but they're at least 4 out of 5s on like just the songs, the quality of them together. And that's very important. So, there's several ways to measure greatness in rap, especially when it comes to tandems, right? There's several ways that you could measure it. But the most important stat to me will always be chemistry. Like that separates the good from the great. That separates the money play from the legacy acts. Like chemistry is the most important thing. That's how you get feeling, not only from the track, but from consumer to artist, right? And I don't think we have another tandem that's been named tonight, as well as on my list, that has better chemistry than these two. Again, hey, look, Run the Jewels is a dope tandem, but how is the chemistry as really as great as we made it out to be? Is their chemistry better than the Step Brothers? I don't think so. I don't think so because one, you could say that Don Tripp and Starlito in their own right are two completely different rappers than when they come together for Step Brothers. Where I think Killer Mike has been the same guy with Outkast, as the same guy with the Blue Ribbon All Stars, is the same guy with LP and Run the Jewels. And he's the same guy by himself. Matter of fact, he might be better by himself. And I don't think you can definitively say that about either of these guys when it comes to that. So that's why the chemistry for me is paramount. It's number one. It's A1 for me. So again, 16 tracks, 51 minutes, 34 seconds. Step Brothers 4. Step Brothers for life. For life. Down Trip Starlito. No cap. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. The rapping on here is great. The beat selection is great. I love the real life isms. I love the vulnerability. And also you get some street talk. You know what I'm saying? You get some street talk. And I love how it meshes from beginning to end. And it's hard to capture that now. Well, in a land and a time where music moves so fast, it's great to get projects that we can sit with. This is definitely one of those projects. Now, again, I think from just entertainment value, I do have Wiz being the number one album of the year so far. But man, this Step Brothers for Life, I don't see it leaving my top 3. But then again, I haven't heard every single rap album that I wanted to hear this year yet. So I'm not gonna just jump the gun. But right now, I definitely have them out at 1 and 2. That's for sure. Let me get to these comments real quick. My man Philip Banks. Yeah, it was fire. Yes, that Step Brother for Life is fire. Let's talk to Jones. Let's see what he's talking about. He said, that's why Hove ain't rapping no more. Kill Jay-Z was the end of his ego. Possibly. I think no joke. I think Jay-Z's not rapping anymore because of Sorry Not Sorry and God Did. I think the Khaled features have him a little out of touch. Or at least that's what the consensus is with the people, you know. When you got $2 billion and you start rapping about the things that you've done, you realize that you may have realized that, man, maybe the people that I'm speaking to, they don't want to hear this from me, you know. I think also 444 was the last time that we got like brand new content from Hove. You know, he went on a really great feature run, but when we get to Sorry Not Sorry and we get to God Did, I think it was just kind of like okay, This is just an exercise. Jay-Z still raps at a very high level. And matter of fact, we're going to talk about rapping at a high level on the next live that's coming up as we tune this one down. So we got another one coming up. I may not wait till 8:15. We may go right back into it. That's what she said. And we'll talk about that because we're going to talk about a rapper that I feel should retire. And whatever else I want to talk about. So we can open up the floodgates, have a real conversation tonight. It's time to talk some rap-ish for real. Let me see. I do like the fact that Star and Trip are actual homies. Yes, it bleeds into the music. It's refreshing. Yes. And that's super important. I'm sick of all the studio relationships. I'm sick of all the label relationships. Hey, listen. Case in point of that is the Baby and Meg Thee Stallion. And in a lot of ways, Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Even though I'm not going to act like I don't like their music together, but it's just for me, you can just tell when like, yo, we checking the box here. We don't really fuck with each other, you know? Or maybe they do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to put friendships on or off people, especially women. Look, let's just love and protect our Black women, right? But I do love that Trip and Star's relationship is not manufactured. They're not doing it. It's not a money play. It's not a business move. Like they sincerely homies. And when you really rhyming with your homies, it's always great. I think that's what made State Property so good. State Property, again, I said this on my I don't like the Bleak slander, right? Because people try to make it seem like Memphis Bleak was so garbage. And he's not. I think Memphis Bleak is dope. And with saying that, the members of State Property are not that much better than Memphis Bleak. They never were. Beans is the only one that had like a ranking of 90. Everybody else was ranked 83. If this was NBA 2K, like Def Jam Vendetta, if it was just on rap ability, Chris and Neef, Owen Sparks, Petey Crack, Freeway, and Memphis Bleak are all rated 83 or 85. You pick what number you want them to be because they all got a different slider. They all just one slide, like Freeway's charisma might be higher than the other guys, but and maybe his technical ability is a little, but like but Memphis Bleak's cadence, his beat selection is higher than theirs. Like it's just like they're all kind of like the same rapper. So I never loved that thought about them. Let me see. They killed it on that trip. They killed it. And Don Trip on the MF and Run. Yeah, that man done dropped an album every month for a year now. Yes, he has. And I have not got a chance to listen to all of them. But yeah, hey, no, Trip is a monster, man. Again, he's one of my favorite freshman list people that has ever existed. And I love what he's doing. Oh, hey, oh, look, stand corrected, 24. 24 projects in a row and the Step Brothers joint. Yeah, he going crazy. I wasn't feeling that joint when he was doing all the rap love songs. I was just like, man, hey, look, man, salute. You love your girl, but yo, relax. but it was some heat on there, but I just like, man, I don't feel like hearing this right now. Not right now. Please, just stop it. Yes, a rapper that I think should retire, Jones. We're gonna get to it. My brother. Matter of fact, hey, listen, I'm gonna put up the artwork, right? and we're gonna get to this. And salute for dropping that playlist off too. We're gonna check that out. We're gonna check it out because I definitely did not catch. I don't even think I've caught 12 of the 24 tracks. 24 projects that he's dropped. So I need to catch up for real. But yes, man, Step Brothers for Life. Please listen to it. It's a super dope project, man. One of my favorites of this year. I think we'll still be talking about it, or we should still be talking about it when we come down to December. Last 2 weeks of the year. It's that good. I'm into the replay value. We should still be listening to albums 3 and 4 times. Don't let the hype fool you. Don't let the DSPs, the microwave era, don't let all that fool you. It's good music out here. It's good food out here. It's great. content that is out here on these raps, on these albums, man. Listen to them, buy them if you can. If you're that big of a fan, if you're that big of a supporter of these artists, buy the hard copies if they have them available. The vinyls, the cassettes. Cassettes are back. CDs are back. Vinyls are back. They're limited, but they're back. So, you know, one of the dopest things I've been able to do is purchase my wife the 10-year anniversary of Cushion Orange Juice, and then we meet Wiz and he signs it for her. He can't just sign your phone. He can't just sign the hard. I mean, he can't sign the DSP version of your project, you know. So just for reasons like that, man, if you really love music, if you truly support music, do what is needed to create moments. Create moments for the music that create moments for you. You did. But yeah, Step Brothers for Life. Down Trip Starlito, man, great album again. 16 tracks, 51 minutes, 34 seconds. I give it a 4 out of 5. That is it for this review. Hey, stick around. We're going to get right back to it. Matter of fact, we're not waiting until 8 o'clock. Listen, give me a few minutes. We're going to talk about a rapper I feel should retire. And then we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, man. It's rap. I don't know how many more nights I'm going to get like this. So before it gets too real for me on my end, the rest of 2025, let's talk some hip hop, man. Let's talk some rap music. Let's talk about anything. But we're going to kick it off with a rapper I feel should retire. Until next time, which will be real soon, just know that always and consensually, it's love.